Yes, guys, I believe a short squeeze for Bitcoin is here imminent. And because of that, we need to take action and to prepare us once this is happening. If you want to know which levels I am personally watching right now, where I will take my next trade on Bitcoin and potentially also on Ethereum, because they will move more or less at the same time, then make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, and also activate the bell so that you will never miss out on these really important updates, even on a Saturday. And now let's directly jump into it. So I want to start off with the ETF inflows, because that is also really, really important right now. While we are going into the halving. So we see here the GBTC Grayscale sold again almost 3,000 Bitcoin, but we had a huge inflow from BlackRock. Here 4,510 were bought. Then the others here, FBTC again 1,210. ARK was not buying anything, and the other two were just small portions what they were actually buying, but we had a net inflow of almost 3,000 Bitcoin worth of Bitcoin. And that, of course, propped us a little bit up here on the chart. When we're looking here at the chart, what we can clearly observe, let me for a second remove the EMA ribbon, is that Bitcoin is fighting right now with that resistance area that I spoke yesterday about, break here higher. And once we would actually break here higher, we are not far away to get the short squeeze. And I'm going to show you that in a moment. The bullish thing about Bitcoin right now is that we're above this downward sloping trend line here, but we're also retesting it right now. So if we lose that trend line and we go back to something like $67,400, if you're right now in a trade, I would cut my trade there. So if you're in from this downward sloping trend line, where I told you can enter if you're a little bit more risk adverse, you get stopped out more or less at break even, maybe with a slight profit you will get out of it. So if you entered here at the break, you will take a small hit, but only a small one. So, and then we're going to try again when we try again to break here to the upside. But things are pointing to that we are first getting a break here to the upside. And I'm going to show you in a moment why I believe this is going to happen. Something else that I'm observing here right now is you can technically make the case that all this here might be a bump and run pattern. Why is this a bump and run pattern? Because we are coming from a high. We created here basically the bump, came up to test this level, went one more leg down and went to the upside, broke above the downwards trend line, now retesting it. So normally the break above the neckline is a little bit stronger than what we are seeing right now. Let's say if we get today a nice move here to the upside to $68,600 again at some point, that would be enough to say that we have here a bump and run pattern. And by the way, nobody else is talking about this right now, so you see this here first. I don't think from the chance that I've seen that anybody is talking about this pattern. If you see it tomorrow somewhere else, you know from where they got it. So the bump and run pattern, if you measure the target for it, let's be conservative here. So the target would be $72,560, more or less. So, but here again, you want that this retest right now of that trend line is successful and that price starts moving away from it. So here, if you're right now not in a trade and you're sidelined because different time zone for whatever reason, you could not catch the trade, wait for a break of $68,200 at the bare least. And if you want to be really, really sure, you wait for $68,500 above that whole resistance area. Again, risk adverse entry down here. The safer one is a little bit higher. And then you can trade this to $72,560 approximately, because that is the target of that bump and run pattern. And that would give you, let's take it from the safer entry, then will give you a 6% move more or less. If you trade this with 20x, it's 120% on that specific trade here. When we go to the 4-hourly chart, what we can here really clearly see right now is that what I had drawn yesterday is actually playing out. And what's missing is the leg here to the upside now into the Monday high. And once we're getting into the Monday high, we will then also hit the target of the bump and run pattern. The only thing that I here really don't like on the 4-hourly chart is that we have so much resistance right now sandwiching the price. So you see here we are on the top of the EMA ribbon price-wise. We're above the ribbon. But we're getting sandwiched between the Monday low and the top of the EMA ribbon. So that is a really, really narrow range from 67,770 to $68,060 approximately. So this is like a $300 range more or less that we are squeezed in here right now. So the stochastic RSI is not looking all too healthy, you know, so when I see something like this, that screams to me, let's go down before we move up again. Also, the RSI is pointing down. We also seeing here buying pressure fading out and selling pressure increasing because we get a lot of lighter green candles and the MACD is about to potentially the next 8 hours to flip here bearish. But that doesn't have to happen, guys, you know. So if we get one proper push to the upside, that can change everything. So on the higher time frames, like on the 4 hourly, it doesn't look like it. But let's have a look here on the 1 hourly time frame. Do I not have another 1 hourly time frame? Here, yes. So here, as long as we are staying above, don't know what's with my throat today. As long as we are staying above the 50 moving average here, the red line, I would consider this bullish continuation. If we lose that and we go down to the 200 down here, we maybe have to reconsider things. But for now, it looks like that we are bottoming out in terms of the indicators, at least when it comes to the stochastic RSI. The RSI also looks not like that it wants to move here a little much lower. The MACD maybe potentially, but again, that can also change really quickly with a change in price here to the upside. So again, the imminent resistance on the shorter time frames is $68,200. Once we're breaking that, we should see a nice push to the upside. Here on this 4 hourly chart, when it comes to liquidation levels, so you see now another reason why we get sandwiched, because over-leveraged short and long positions trying to position themselves for the next move. Here, again, we are closer to a push to the upside, where we have way more liquidity than below us, than a move to the downside. So we have here some over-leveraged longs sitting here at $66,400 to $67,000. But even if we come and take them out, I don't believe that we go much lower, you know, so that could be here, and that scenario on the 4 hourly chart, another W pattern, where we see something like this here, you know, so if we get here another leg, something like this to the downside and then up again. Sorry, my drawing skills are not the best. So something like this and then up, you know, so that is something that you should also consider right now, with the neckline being here at $69,200. So once we are breaking this, we should see a move also here based on this above $70,000. So you see there's like 3 different patterns in alignment confluence for potential further upside. So here, of course, W is not confirmed yet. We need to create the other leg to the downside to potentially $66,000 and then see a leg to the upside. It would be even better if this leg here would be more shallow, you know, and we see something like this, or we see something like this, you know, so that would be still, no, actually it has to go a little bit lower. It has to do something like this here and then go up to be considered a W pattern. So, but let's see how this is going to play out. So still not the level that the short squeeze is going to happen from. That's something I'm going to show you right now. The level that I'm looking at for a short squeeze is here, the $69,000 level. And the other one, so you see here are a lot of buys coming in already. This basically tells you where spot orders right now are sitting. And you see in that area where the price is sitting right now, in the range of 67,600 to 67,800, that is the area where bulls and bears are heavily fighting to get a push in either direction, you know. So if we would break here out to the upside, the level that I will be looking at for a short squeeze is at $69,000. If we can break $69,000, we will straight move to 69,500, and from there trigger another short squeeze to $70,000. Only area where I expect some resistance is $70,000, because you see there's a lot of sell orders stacked here. The same at 71 and a lot more actually at 72 and at 73. And I don't know if even above, you know, so yeah, here 75 also heavy resistance. And again, remember I told you this, 75 is a psychological level, and a lot of people want to sell there because it's a round number, and hence why we see a lot of orders stacked up here. You're gonna see now here on the liquidation heat map that this is in alignment with the order book, So here on the 1 week chart, see here, if we move to $69,000, we're gonna tap in here into 69,400, and that would trigger a short squeeze all the way up to $70,400. So from there, we have then to see if we can push higher, but here around $71,200 approximately it's going to stop. And then price needs to potentially consolidates and will push into 72,000 and beyond that. I want to go quick back here to the Bitcoin chart to see what's going to happen here. Yeah, still $67,738. When I look at the spot bits here on the Bitcoin CVD, it looks not bad, I must say, but also not looking great. We are going a little bit sideways. The only place where we see a small uptick is on OKX and spot bits, and just a little bit on Binance, so even though that might actually point down a little bit, sideways down. So, and BYBIT is definitely going sideways. So but we have to understand, it's the weekend, guys. It's the weekend. There's not a lot of volume, so we should not be surprised by seeing this. I'm more curious how this is going to look Monday. Guys, don't forget, if you want to trade these trades, I'll give you absolutely for free. Trade on BYBIT, or if you want to trade altcoins and let me actually handle everything, then just deposit money to the strategy AMCrypto altcoins on Margex. You don't need KYC, you don't need a VPN for that. And if you cannot use BYBIT, use BITGET or Phemex. These are the preferred exchanges, especially when you're in the UK or in the US and you cannot use BYBIT. Also France and the Netherlands. And if you just want to copy trade me, go to FAIRDESK. There you still get the highest bonus in the industry, $120,000. If you use here one of my links. So all these links are in the description or in the pinned comment under this video here. So now let's talk really quick about some altcoins. The Bitcoin dominance is dropping it to the downside, hence why a lot of altcoins are up today. And that is, of course, something positive for our altcoin backs. Also something that I mentioned, so the best case scenario would be Bitcoin is staying in that range and going sideways. And at the same time, the dominance is coming down so the altcoins can run. I also have no problem with that the dominance explodes to the upside if at the same time Bitcoin is going up and takes the altcoins with it to the upside. That's also absolutely fine. What we don't want is dominance going down, Bitcoin going down, and altcoins bleeding like crazy. So right now, it's a good scenario that we have. The dominance is coming down, Bitcoin is going sideways, altcoins having a little bit of a push today. So for today, what I would like to see on the dominance is that we are closing under the 54.3% level and come back into here, that vicinity. And then the closer we get to the apex, that at some point we are rolling over and breaking down. I believe this is most likely going to happen closer to the halving, because you see also the apex is basically more or less coming in a month after the halving. So we need to be here a little bit more patient, but the altcoin season is coming, guys, a proper altcoin season. You cannot compare what we have seen yet, so to what's actually coming. You have no clue, so it will be so big, will be crazy. The other reason why we see a nice move in the markets right now is because the USDT dominance is also dropping. So money is flowing out from USDT back into the assets. So, and this is also something that we want to see continued over the next couple of days. I don't want to see a big spike again to the upside where everybody is suffering. The total market cap is something that we need to have a closer look tomorrow. For now, we are staying within that resistance area and have found support there. And now for the last 4 weeks, if we can close the candle as it is here right now, then we should see continuation to the upside and move into $3 trillion on the total market cap. When it comes to Ethereum, here again, the most crucial level, $3,360. I don't want to waste too much time here on Ethereum today. We have here a W pattern right now. We also, is this now closed? No, so we have still an imbalance here in this candle. There's not completely closed here by that spike to the upside. So if this W pattern is potentially playing out, then this will bring us to around $3,560. So, but for this, we need to break here above $3,400 approximately. So watch that. For the moment, we are right now above the longest traded volume area here on the VPVR. Also here, as long as we are holding this level, we should be fine to see continuation to the upside. Now, I want to just have a quick look at the altcoins that I gave you yesterday. So here, Solana, nice bounce back to the upside. I'm actually in a Solana trade. That's the one trade that I took. That's slightly in a profit right now. Matic, also nice bounce from that area that I gave you yesterday. So you would have gotten still a really nice entry here yesterday. So now we need to break basically 90 cents to move higher. But things are looking not all too bad here, especially if I go to the daily. So there might be a big break actually coming for Matic. Then here, ARP. ARP is starting to look really strong here because it was so oversold. It was crazily oversold. Here also, you could have gotten the perfect entry when I gave you yesterday the signal. And Pendle is skyrocketing today. You know, so also here, I gave you the perfect entry in that consolidation phase where you could have caught. No, actually, I gave it even lower. So I gave you here the entry. So if you would have caught there the entry yesterday, you would be up 24% without leverage. Again, we are highly accurate with our signals that we give out, so that you can make a lot of money. You don't have to do much. You know, just follow the predictions that we're giving you here. You know, so that's all what you need to do. So now we have another consolidation, which looks to me almost like a bull flag. So maybe we get one more move down before we move here to the upside with a further break, and that will bring us above $8 approximately. So if you missed here this whole move, including this leg here to the upside, then your next potential move that you can play is that bull flag that we are forming here. So watch out if this is breaking. If $7.23 is breaking, that's where you want to enter. And then your next target is like $8.10 approximately. Then also Near had a nice move yesterday. We went all the way up to $7.50. That seems to be a resistance level. Let me actually mark this out to get a better understanding here. Yeah, there is definitely some resistance. So that is why we got rejected from there. If we get now a retest of the downward sloping trend line, then this will become the optimal entry for you for that trade here to the upside. So if you're not already in it and you caught it at the break, wait for the retest now of the downward sloping trend line of that symmetrical triangle, and then enter once we're hitting $6.95. So you can set a limit order for that, $6.95, and your target is here around $8.50. And that's it already for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it on this Saturday. Make sure that you smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you then again tomorrow.